Dr. Jordan, how do we deal with this kind of procrastination? What do you think about it? What to my clients about it? What do we do?
Well, it sounds like, and this would be very normal, there's anxiety, right? And there are feelings that the person may be uncomfortable with. And that could be feelings of sadness. It could be feelings of anger. It could be feelings of confusion. But when we have feelings that we are not super happy with, we tend to avoid them. That's just a very human thing, right? We avoid things that make us uncomfortable. And that's, procrastination. There's another complicating factor, though, when you're dealing with someone who has recently experienced a loss, which is that loss is a real cognitive load on the brain because the brain has to reorganize. Your brain, my brain, has a map of our life in the present moment. We have a map in our brain of where I live and the route I take to get to work and what aisle the milk is on in the grocery store that I go to and what are the names of the neighbors. And, our brain has this map of our life as it exists. And when we pluck somebody out of that life, that person's dead. The whole brain has to do a little reorganizing to incorporate that new information and remap things. And it's a big cognitive drain on the brain. And so you'll notice that people in the early phases of grieving, like the first 6 months, they're not as mentally sharp. They have some brain fog. They'll do silly things. They'll put their keys in the freezer or whatever. That's what I did after my mom died.
Wow. Okay.
I was putting groceries away and I put the frozen peas in the freezer and then put the keys in the freezer too and then couldn't find them later. And so that's a compounding issue, right? Like we already have this thing where human beings tend to avoid emotions that feel unpleasant. So we don't want to do something that's going to make us feel a way we don't want to feel. So I don't want to have to go over to my mom's apartment and start cleaning out her stuff. It's going to make me feel sad. So I'm going to tell myself, I don't have time today. I'll do it tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And I'm putting it off. Right. But then on top of that, like my brain is a little foggy. So I'm not actually thinking clearly about, okay, what are the consequences of putting it off? Right. And this is where I think you really need to bring in some support. You need to talk to the people around you and say, I'm struggling mentally. I'm not getting to these tasks and I know it and I really could use some help. One thing that helps human beings in general across the board, whether you're trying to exercise more regularly or cut down on your social media use or go clean out your dead mom's apartment, like whatever it is that you're trying to get yourself to do, human beings do really well with accountability with another human being. So making these little accountability contracts, saying to your best friend, look, I need to clean out my mom's apartment. I'm supposed to do it on Friday morning. Can you call me and check in on me at 10 o'clock and make sure that I'm over there? And that person ideally is somebody who is not part of the family system. So their brain is not in grief mode. So they're mentally sharp and they can remember to do this for you and help to support you. But, setting up these little contracts, these little accountability contracts, because it is the natural tendency to avoid uncomfortable feelings and your brain is not going to be super sharp. So you're not going to be thinking through the consequences of putting this off.